Hello, I'm Lenny, and this is gonna be a Java EE tutorial with Netbeans and Microsoft SQL Server. I have decided that I will recreate my original tutorial on how to create a simple form, and hopefully this will teach you something new, something better, and I've definitely improved ever since I made the first tutorial, so let's dive into it. In the beginning you usually need to download stuff, so let's get this part over with. You need this SQL server. You can use MySQL database, which is a little bit easier to control. That's why I used it earlier, but now I'm used to work with Microsoft SQL, and I'm pretty happy with it, especially with the Management Studio they offer. You want to download, go to Microsoft site and you can just search for Microsoft SQL Server Express 2012. You will definitely find it. You can find this page pretty easily, and you need this package. What this package contains? It contains Management Studio, it contains the database engine, and something we don't need. But yeah, screw that, that's just a few megabytes, who cares? Let's go to the next one. You will also need a JDBC driver, as Netbeans doesn't have it integrated, and you need to download it from the same site. Search for this string here, and you'll definitely find this package. You can download it, then you can do whatever you want with it. I just no on this download. I just have unzipped it, and I have then used this file. So after you unzip it, you need only this file. You can delete the rest, but you need this file. And this is the driver to connect Netbeans to your Microsoft SQL server. Hey, I play War Z, so what? Let's see, what else is... Yeah, we need Netbeans, of course. Unless you don't have them, you can download them from this site. I'd go for the all package, as the difference between this one and this one is pretty slim, and sometimes you need the extra support. Sometimes you want to create something in other languages, and this is pretty cool thing. Alright, I think that's about it. Let's dive into Management Studio. So you have downloaded the first package I told you to download, and you installed it. I haven't set any specific settings during the installation, so I think you should be able to go through the installation yourself without encountering any problems. In case you encounter any, you can post a comment, but hopefully there will be no problems. Then it creates an SQL server for you, and I have used the Windows authentication for this server. That's gonna be the main thing we're gonna begin with. So now we are like an administrator for the server, so we can do whatever we want. Let me just delete the database so I can show you how to recreate it. Yeah, so this is how the server will look like when you install it. Empty server, nothing inside, just your login here. You can check the properties, Windows authentication, system admin, that's important role. I'm not specified in any database, and that's about it. So we got an SQL server up and running. What we want to do now is to create a new database. I'm gonna call it test. It doesn't really matter. It's just a database. When you're working on large scale projects, you definitely need to name the databases something more useful than just a test. But whatever, I'm not gonna go there. I'm just gonna use the default. Owner, we don't care. Options, yeah, we don't care. Alright, let's create a database. So we got a new database. Let's check the security. I'm not sure if I should be specified here or yeah, I don't think I need to be specified here as a user, as I should already have all the rights needed from the system admin permission. Whatever. Any problem we encounter, I'll try to resolve and explain how I resolved the problem. And I'm gonna intentionally run into problems so I can show you how to debug them. Now, before we go to Netbeans, we want to create one table, any table. Let's go for ID as a first column, definitely not varchar or nvarchar. It's gonna be int. Let's see what we can use in the simple form. We can use like a username, which can be, oh, it's nchar, whatever, but definitely not 10, like 45. Password. I hate typing. That's enough. And we can go for email as well. That should be a little bit bigger. Oh, come on. Again, like 45. That should be enough. Alright. I'm not gonna specify any other options. I'm just gonna create a table named, wow. Let's see. I'm not gonna go for user table as it might collide with another system tables or whatever. Let's call it test user. Yeah, so innovative. Alright, we have created a new table which doesn't display until you refresh. And now we have made 2 mistakes already. Actually, there are no mistakes, but 3 actually. Yeah. We want to have a primary key on ID. We could have specified that during the creation, but I like to specify it in code. I'm gonna show you how. We didn't use not null here. ID cannot be null. I mean, primary key cannot be null. That will kill us. And I think we are missing one more thing, but I already forgot. So let's dive into fixing the first problems. To fix them, I'm not gonna create a new query and like try to alter the table. I don't think I can alter the table and add primary keys. Maybe I can, maybe I can't. But I'm gonna recreate the whole table. I'm gonna specify not null here, and I'm gonna specify primary key on the ID column. Now this should work. Yeah, and we can edit the table, so that means we got all the rights needed to alter tables and create them and so on. That's cool. So we got a refresh, come on. We got a table with a primary key with on ID column. Now we should really specify, well, get some data on the table so we can like use them later on. Alright, insert into username test user 1. password. Test user 1 pass. Oh. And test user at okay. Whatever. It's really yeah, let's go for user. It doesn't really matter what you specify. It doesn't have to be valid login or, well, valid email or whatever. And I've apparently made a mistake. Invalid object name. Yeah, I don't think I made a mistake. Let's just select it and press F5. Incorrect syntax near. Insert into, yeah, we've failed to specify values here. Okay. Thank you for reminding me. Column name or number of supplied values doesn't match the table definition. Really? Do I have to specify the ID? Well, yeah, that's the thing we forgot. I mean, ID has to be identity, like auto increment stuff. Yeah. So, back to dropping tables. Now we need to specify identity here, which is gonna start with 1 and increase by 1. F5. Refresh. Kill. And go for F5. Statement has been string or binary data will be truncated. Really? Oh, password is probably too long. Let's see. Yeah, it's like all the whole line. I mean, I can, if you don't know where the problem is, you can probably use this. No, that doesn't help you at all. But this means that you're trying to insert something that's longer than the specified max length of these columns, and obviously it's this password, as it's probably longer than, yeah, it's definitely longer than 10 characters. I'm gonna go for shorter password, and now it works. We can display the data. By the way, good thing to do is use this. When you're selecting data on production database, you don't want to lock it. That's pretty bad idea. If you're not familiar with locking, I can describe it real quick. When I specified this, that means when I get to the table to read it, I don't lock it for myself. That means concurrent modifications can happen when I'm reading the table. If I wouldn't specify this, I would approach the table, lock it. That means no one will be able to modify the data there. And after I'm finished reading, I would unlock it for others. And if a user in the meantime tries to update the table with data, like someone is trying to send in an order, he would be encountered with a big problem. Whatever. So don't forget to use with no lock on any valuable production databases. Careful. So we got some data in there, we can display them, and I think we are done for the moment here. We can go to Netbeans. No, not yet. Let's delete this. I'm deleting all the stuff I've created before so I can show you how to recreate it. No, we cannot go to Netbeans yet, just yet. We need to create another user, as Netbeans is unable to use Windows authentication to connect to Microsoft SQL Server. It might be able to, but I don't know how, or I'm not gonna go there. So what do we want to do is go to security logins and create another login. Let's call this user a whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna use a test user again. It doesn't really matter. we will specify the SQL authentication. Give him some nice password, like actually a login name can be Glassfish. I like this one. And Glassfish. Whoa, Glassfish. G-L-A. Good. Oh, yeah. Hopefully that's gonna work. Default database will be the test database. Screw the language. Let's check server roles. I'm not sure if I should give him a system admin. Let's go for the default, and we can actually change it later on. Users map to this login. This should add the user to the database, so we don't have to do it manually, and login is enabled. I think we are pretty much done here. There's a yeah, there's a kinda trick to make this work when we encounter a when we encounter a problem, but hopefully. Really? Let's go for pass. I'm not gonna type it again. Yes, finally. So we got a new user here, and let's check his status on the database. Security, yeah, that checkbox make sure he was created for the database. And I think we need to check some options. This is pretty important option, and if we don't use the default scheme in Netbeans, we wouldn't see any tables. I encountered this problem before, and it's pretty annoying as it's not that obvious. I'm gonna talk about that later. I'm not sure if I should specify any of these settings. Let's go for test drive. I'm gonna create a new project, web application. Yeah, if I'm too fast, just slow it down. Check it again. I'm not gonna bother with simple stuff. Simple form tutorial. If you got any questions during the video, just post a comment and I can probably answer it later on. I might kinda collect all the questions and then like create a new video explaining each of them or trying to help you out, as this is not that trivial to set up. I mean, it might be trivial for someone who knows how to do this, but you kinda have to work a little bit to make it happen. So now you won't see Microsoft SQL Server on this list, but I cannot delete it, so I would like to show you how to recreate it, but I cannot delete it. But I'm gonna show you how to create your own driver. Well, use the driver you found on the site. That's the SQL JDBC4 jar file here, and we're gonna select the driver file, and that's about it. You can just press OK and it will create it will create this driver, all these settings for this driver, and then you can just select it and use it. Now the tricky part, yeah. Let's forget about the settings for a moment. We forgot to set up the SQL server a little bit. I'm gonna go to my programs and I'm gonna look for Microsoft SQL Server 2012, configuration tools, SQL Server Configuration Manager. The reason I'm opening this tool is to set up some stuff on the server. Now we need to go to SQL Server Network Configuration, Protocols. Let's go for TCP/IP, and when you install the server, you got this disabled. So you need to right click, You can either enable it here or further in the options, enable it, and make sure you it listens to all. And then in IP addresses, you go all the way down and specify TCP dynamics port like this. You can set up your own value here, but this is the default most people use, and it's a really good idea to use default values. When you're trying to debug something, this helps a lot, a ton. So we have set up the TCP IP connection and the port. I don't think there will be any problems here. This is simple settings. And now we're gonna set up the connection. Host is localhost. Port is the port we specified before in the dynamics port whatever. Database is called, I think, test. Instance name is, yeah, now you want to go to properties of the server and just copy this name. And yes, the K here is missing intentionally. Instance name is basically the server name. Username is glassfish, I believe, and password is pass. That's the user you created on the database. And now we can go for a test drive. Yeah, there's some kind of problem. The password of account must be changed. This means the password is insecure. Like there's some validation of the password. And obviously, pass is not a good password. Alright, let's go for the glassfish again. And hopefully, yeah, this time it works. Now we can test it again. And there's another problem. Login failed for user glassfish. Client connection ID cannot establish connection. Alright, it seems like we have messed up during the user creation, and we can test it pretty easily like this. Yeah, I think I'm too fast sometimes. Connect Object Explorer. Let's go for SQL authentication. Let's go for glassfish. Sure, remember the password. So it seems the user can connect to the database, but can he see any tables? He cannot. So we need to give him some permission. I'm not sure where to set up the permission. Let's go for these properties. Securables, user mapping, database role membership for master. Well, we don't really want him on the master. Whatever. I'm getting confused here. No, I don't think these settings are valid. Well, useful for us. Let's go to the database, security, glassfish, and let's go for these options. This means that the user can read stuff from the database. This means the user can write to the database. It's simple as that. Let's try the test connection again, and it still doesn't work. Oh, I haven't specified the password. Yeah, it works now. So I'm not really sure if the options we changed last time is really necessary, but whatever. We will definitely need to read and write, so that's useful. Let's go for next, and now the tricky part. You need to specify DBO here, as the DBO was specified somewhere along the way here, maybe in some of the options. Yeah, here. And this way you will be able to reverse engineer the tables. Finish, and Oh, come on. Processor usage 100%. Yeah, I'm on laptop. We don't need this. Well, I'm gonna kill these tabs as well so they don't confuse us. We should probably move the files around, but whatever. For the purposes of the tutorial, we don't need that. We can use the default package. We need to create Hibernate util, like before in that tutorial. Oh, and we messed up again. Let's go for a factor. I want to move it to another package. Yeah, I'm gonna delete it. It's gonna be faster before I figure out how to move it. Let's specify an util package. You usually want to keep the util class away from the configuration class. Sorry. Now we can create the Hibernate reverse engineering file. And we can see the table. If you forgot to specify the default schema, you won't see any tables. And I've already posted a solution on Stack Overflow under this issue. Let's see. Where can I see my answers? Answers, how to read, Hibernate. Yeah, this is the one. A guy encountered the same problem here as he set up everything right, but he couldn't see any tables when he was trying to reverse engineer. And his problem was that he didn't connect the schemas. Alright, let's go back to Netbeans. If you're at this point, congratulations. It's not really easy for someone new to get here. And we can finish all the stuff and check out the configuration file. Now you can easily create Hibernate mapping file. Really? I cannot select reverse engineering file. Really? Wow, that's really cool. I haven't encountered this problem before. Seriously? Alright, it seems like it's updated now. We're probably gonna use some annotations and stuff, and we need to specify a package. The package will be modal, as we're gonna be using modal data, POJOs and stuff. And yeah, it's created a mapping file for us, and it created a DAO object. This is the table name, columns, a lot of other stuff. What you want to do usually when creating files like this, hit Alt-Shift-F and it will format it into the default format, which is pretty useful sometimes. This concludes the first part of the tutorial. We have successfully created a set up an SQL server. We have created a database. We have created a new user for the database. We can actually test the user rights now. Yeah, and the user can finally see the table. We have created a table with identity column and primary key as an ID. We have created a web project, web application. We have used Hibernate to connect to the database. We have used the Hibernate to reverse engineer one of the tables we used, and we have created a mapping file and DAO object for the table. Also, we created a Hibernate util, which we don't really need to know what it does, but it's pretty simple. It's just an utility class to cover the session factory. I'm not gonna go there. I could talk about this stuff for a long time, and I don't really want to, as this is a tutorial how to make a simple form. Alright, type your questions in the comment section if you got any. If you encounter any problems, try to explain them as best as you can so others or I can help you out. Try to use Google Stack Overflow before you post questions, and good luck. See ya in the next tutorial where we will create, I think we can create like a controller view and try to display some data from the database. Yeah, see ya.